You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.
It seems that the Chicago Bears are closing in on a quarterback decision very soon. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. So, Bears fans, over the last couple of months, we've been talking a whole lot about quarterback Justin Fields and a whole lot about the number one overall pick and which direction we actually want the Chicago Bears to go in. But according to NFL insider Albert Breer, the Chicago Bears still really like Fields as a QB prospect 3 years after drafting him number 11 overall, but they are meeting over the next couple of weeks to finalize plans at the position. Once again, many expect the Chicago Bears to stay at number 1 overall in the 2024 NFL Draft and select quarterback Caleb Williams at a USC, and that means they would trade Justin Fields for some compensation. There was also a prior report from Albert Breer as well that teams have already contacted the Chicago Bears, just gauging some interest on quarterback Justin Fields, and that actually happened during the Senior Bowl, just to see what the price was and all that stuff. Doesn't mean the Chicago Bears were actually considering trading Justin Fields, but that's what Albert Breer was saying during the Senior Bowl, that teams were contacting the Chicago Bears, just seeing the availability of quarterback Justin Fields. But it seems that over the next couple of weeks, the Chicago Bears will meet as a team, meeting Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, Ian Cunningham, Kevin Warren. They'll all meet together and really make a final decision on the quarterback situation going on with the Chicago Bears. And I really have a strong opinion on this. Let's talk about it right here on Keek on the Mic. First things first, Bears fans, Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears obviously have a massive decision within the organization. Do you stick with quarterback Justin Fields? Obviously, he's been with the team for 3 years. There's a lot of people, including myself, that think that Justin Fields has never once been put in a good situation to succeed while in Chicago. But then there's other fans out there thinking that the Chicago Bears did everything in their power to help quarterback Justin Fields, and after 3 years, it's time to move on, trade Justin Fields, and draft a new quarterback in Caleb Williams out of USC. But this has been long drawn out, right? Obviously, Ryan Poles is going through his due diligence, and like I said before on past podcasts, right here on Keek on the Mic, Ryan Poles and Chicago Bears have yet to make a decision on Justin Fields. They have yet to make a decision on the number 1 overall pick and what they're actually going to do with the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. Obviously, as we all know, the NFL Scouting Combine will start next week from Indianapolis, and that's when things will start heating up, not only for the Chicago Bears, but other teams may be inquiring not only about Justin Fields, but also inquiring about the number 1 overall pick. There still may be teams out there that are highly interested in trading up and getting a guy like Caleb Williams. Maybe the Washington Commanders could be an option. Maybe the New England Patriots could be an option. Maybe even a team like the New York Giants could be an option to trade up all the way to the number 1 overall spot in order to get a guy like Caleb Williams. So to me, I feel like this is going to be a really important next couple of weeks for Ryan Poles, for Ian Cunningham, for Matt Eberflus, for Kevin Warren, and the Chicago Bears organization. Because at this point, you have to start having these conversations about what you want to do with the number 1 overall pick and what you want to do with quarterback Justin Fields. And I do want to give my dad a huge shout out on today's episode of Keek on the Mic, because we were actually having a deep discussion on the number 1 overall pick, a deep discussion on quarterback Justin Fields. Obviously, my dad is in the same boat as me. He wants to keep quarterback Justin Fields, trade down from the number 1 overall pick, collect massive amount of draft capital, draft Marvin Harrison Jr., and at number 9, maybe draft a edge rusher or an offensive tackle. So we have the same mindset on what we want to do if we were in Ryan Poles' situation with the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. But I do want to give my dad a huge shout out because he brought up a massive point in our conversation the other day. And he said, truthfully, son, if the Chicago Bears have yet to make a decision going into free agency on Justin Fields and the number 1 overall pick, that seems to me that leans towards that they're going to actually keep Justin Fields and continue to build around him. And it makes a lot of sense. And the reason why it makes a lot of sense is, why would Ryan Poles want to actually go into the NFL Draft with Justin Fields on his roster? If you really didn't want to keep Justin Fields, and maybe these next couple of weeks, those are the conversations they're going to have and really solidify that option of what they're going to do with Justin Fields and what they're going to do with the number 1 overall pick. And once again, those conversations will begin at the NFL Scouting Combine next week in Indianapolis. I think things will heat up. Obviously, you're going to hear a lot of rumors, you're going to hear a lot of reports coming out of the NFL Scouting Combine in terms of what the Bears may possibly do with the number 1 overall pick. But it makes a lot of sense what my dad was thinking, because at the end of the day, if you are going into free agency starting March 13th, which is the start of the new league year, if you go into the start of the new league year with Justin Fields on the roster, that seems to me that they've already made a decision and they are going to cater to Justin Fields in free agency, meaning bringing in some pieces, maybe a guy like Danielle Hunter. He's 29 years old. To me, if you get a guy like Danielle Hunter, that would be a win now move. So that's what my dad was kind of insinuating. And it makes a whole lot of sense. But for example, if they go into the scouting combine, maybe they have these conversations, maybe they finally figure out after maybe they interview Caleb Williams at the scouting combine, they fall in love with Caleb Williams. Maybe they make the decision that, okay, we're going to move forward in trading quarterback Justin Fields in the next couple of weeks before the start of the new league year. And then we're going to add free agents to build around our new quarterback in Caleb Williams. And that's what my dad was really getting at. He was basically just saying, if they go into free agency with Justin Fields as the starting quarterback or on the roster for the Chicago Bears, to him, that means that Justin Fields is probably their guy for next season. But if they trade Justin Fields prior to that March 13th new league year for the National Football League, that basically means that they are moving on from Justin Fields and are going to draft one of the quarterbacks, possibly Caleb Williams, in the 2024 NFL draft with the number 1 overall pick. And to me, I just wanted to give him a huge shout out because I really didn't have that thinking. And this is why it's a good point to bring up. And this is why I'm glad that Albert Breer kind of came out and said the Bears are going to have these conversations for the next couple of weeks. And once again, they really like Justin Fields as a quarterback prospect. Obviously, Kevin Warren came out last week or the week before that and was basically just giving Justin Fields his vote of confidence. We had a strong conversation about that right here on Geek on the Mic. But I'm really happy that the Chicago Bears over the next couple of weeks are going to have these tough conversations, because the Chicago Bears, Ryan Poles, they have to make a decision pretty soon. Because just like, once again, giving my dad a huge shout out, I truthfully feel that they need to make the decision prior to free agency so we can really know how we're going to attack free agency. Because I feel like if you keep Justin Fields, you're going to attack it a different way, meaning free agency, if you trade Justin Fields and go on and move on with a guy like Caleb Williams. It's going to be two different scenarios. So Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham, Matt Eberflus, Kevin Warren, the Chicago Bears organization, over these next couple of weeks, gauge the interest of both situations. Talk to teams about Justin Fields. Talk to teams about the number 1 overall pick. And to me, whatever seems right for the Chicago Bears organization moving forward, that's what you need to do, right? So if they come to you and say, hey, for the number 1 overall pick, we'll give you multiple first-round picks, multiple second-round picks, and maybe a player or maybe a couple of players for the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft, discuss that option, right? But at the same time, if someone comes and says, hey, we'll give you a first-round pick and maybe a next year's 3 for quarterback Justin Fields, you can also gauge that interest as well. But I think the Chicago Bears, as always, and this is all teams in general, once the scouting combine usually starts, that's when the talks start beginning for trades leading up to the NFL draft, or trades are discussed for players around the National Football League. So Albert Breer just came out and made that very clear that, once again, the Chicago Bears still really like Justin Fields. So no decision has been made, but things will start heating up over the next couple of weeks. Ryan Poles and Chicago Bears will continue to have these tough conversations. But once again, I truly agree with my dad. If the Chicago Bears go into free agency with Justin Fields on the roster, to me, that means they are keeping quarterback Justin Fields within the Chicago Bears organization. But overall, Bears fans, this is going to be a crazy next couple of weeks. And whatever Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears decide to do, we should be really excited for the future of this football team. I feel like things will be flipped around in a hurry within this organization. I think we'll start seeing a whole lot of winning, and that's just a hope. But I think Ryan Poles has this organization, has this football team going in the right direction, but he does have a massive decision that he needs to make first before we can move forward at the quarterback position. But Bears fans, before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this. Do you guys agree with my dad's thinking that if Justin Fields is on the roster as we enter the new league year on March 13th, that basically means that they are keeping quarterback Justin Fields for next season? And also, how do you feel about what Albert Breer had to say on the conversations that the Chicago Bears are going to be having over the next couple of weeks? Let me know down below in the comment section. But as always, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You've been listening to Geek on the Mic, a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys, and bear down.